There is something about Alexandra Saint Mleux that nobody is actually saying out loud, and I think it is time somebody did. Because everyone is focused on Charles Leclerc, the racing, the Ferrari drama, the championship. But the people who are really paying attention have noticed something else entirely. They have noticed her. And more specifically, they have noticed that something about this woman is different. Something about the way she moves, the way she carries herself, the way she exists next to one of the most scrutinized men in Formula One without ever losing a single piece of herself. So today we are going to talk about what nobody is saying. Why Charles Leclerc, a man who could have chosen anyone in any room in any country, chose Alexandra Saint Mleux, and why, once you understand what she actually built, you will never be surprised by it again. Let us start with something most people do not know about Charles, because the choice always tells you something about the person making it. Charles Leclerc carries more than most people realize. He lost his father the day before one of the most important races of his early career and still got in the car. He has carried the weight of Ferrari's expectations for years, a weight that has quietly broken drivers with far more support than he has ever had. He feels things deeply, and the world watches him feel them in real time. And here's the thing about a man who carries that much. The woman he chooses is never an accident. She is a response to everything his world demands of him. She is the place where none of that weight is required, and Alexandra is exactly that place. Here is the first secret. She was already somebody before Charles was ever part of her story. Fully formed, educated, multilingual, globally curious, with a life and an identity that existed completely independently of who she was dating. In a world where proximity to a famous man is constantly turned into a personal brand, Alexandra did the opposite. She kept her own lane. She built her own depth, and that depth, that quiet, unperformable substance, is the thing that got under his skin and stayed there. Because here is what people do not understand about men at this level. They are surrounded constantly by people who want something from them: attention, access, association. Every room they walk into is full of want. And then they meet a woman who simply is. No agenda underneath the warmth, no performance underneath the smile. Just a woman who is so genuinely complete within herself that she does not need anything from him to feel whole. That woman does not just attract him, she stops him completely. Here is the second secret. Her restraint is strategic, even if she has never called it that. Alexandra does not overshare. She does not use his name to open doors or his platform to build hers. She is present without being performative, visible without being loud. And in 2026, where everyone with access to something famous turns it into content immediately, her silence around their relationship communicates something to Charles that no amount of beauty or charm ever could. It tells him she values what they have more than she values what it could get her. And that specific message, delivered not in words, but in consistent, quiet behavior over time, is the thing that makes a man feel genuinely safe. Safe enough to stay, safe enough to choose. And here is the third secret, the one that is really the whole answer wrapped up in one sentence. Alexandra Saint Mleux did not become irreplaceable to Charles Leclerc by trying to be irreplaceable to Charles Leclerc. She became irreplaceable by being completely, unapologetically, irreplaceably herself. The education was for her. The depth was for her. The restraint was for her. The identity she built and protected so carefully was always for her. And that woman, the one who has invested in herself so consistently that her presence becomes undeniable, that woman does not just get chosen. She gets chosen and kept and protected and valued in the way that every woman deserves to be. That is the actual story of why Charles Leclerc chose Alexandra Saint Mleux. It was never really about him. It was always about what she chose for herself first.